Do you feel like your English is stuck at the intermediate level? You're on a treadmill that never gets you anywhere. You can survive in simple conversations, but you can't express your ideas fluently, naturally, or confidently. You still pause, hesitate, and translate in your head. Let's fix that today. You'll learn 9 mistakes that keep you stuck and a study plan to reach the advanced level in only 20 minutes per day. Welcome back to JForrest English. Of course, I'm Jennifer. Now let's get started. Mistake number 1, focusing on language learner topics. One of the most common mistakes is sticking to beginner level topics like daily routines, hobbies, or favorite foods. These are great at the beginner level to learn the most common English words and grammatical structures, but sticking to these topics won't get you to the advanced level. In the real world, people discuss their work, relationships, opinions, current events, world issues, and personal interests. Imagine you're at a party in the real world. Is anyone going to ask you what time you wake up? At a job interview, will your future boss want to know your favorite foods? The conversations in the real world are way more diverse. So to reach that advanced level, you need a diverse range of vocabulary on a variety of topics. Mistake number 2, learning individual words instead of phrases. Please stop memorizing vocabulary one word at a time. Reaching the advanced level comes from knowing how words fit together in phrases, collocations, and idioms. Knowing individual words won't help you if you can't use them to express your ideas in real speech. For example, almost all my students make mistakes with the word recommend because they only learned that word and not the grammatical structures required to use that word, and how to easily switch from one structure to another or one verb tense to another using that one word. You can easily double or triple your vocabulary by focusing on phrases instead of individual words. Mistake number 3, spending too much time on grammar. This one might surprise you. While grammar is important, obsessing over it can hold you back. Many learners spend hours perfecting tiny grammar details like the difference between on a team or in a team. In reality, these differences don't matter much in everyday communication. If you focus too much on grammar, you might avoid speaking altogether because you're afraid of making mistakes. Plus, you only have so much time per day. If you spend all that time on minor things like on a team or in a team, then you're not spending that time on expanding your vocabulary with phrases that you can use to communicate on a variety of topics. This reminds me of the Tony Robbins quote, "Most people major in minor things. Please don't be like most people." Mistake number 4, prioritizing exam preparation over real-life use. If you need to pass an exam like the IELTS or TOEFL, then absolutely focus on it until you take your exam. But many students focus on these exams even though they have no intention of taking them. This isn't a problem unless you're using all your available study time on exam prep. Exams prepare you for specific scenarios that are more common in a classroom environment, but not in a real-world environment. And most exams highly focus on grammar, which can lead you to mistake number 3. In your daily life, you likely don't write a lot of academic essays. You likely have casual conversations on a wide variety of topics. Mistake number 5, overusing learner resources. Learner resources like my YouTube channel and English learning podcast are definitely helpful. Please keep watching my videos, but please don't only watch my videos. Watch TED Talks, read Time Magazine, read blogs, or listen to podcasts on topics that interest you, because you'll soon learn that understanding me in this video doesn't mean you can understand native speakers. And my YouTube channel is on language learning topics, which leads to mistake number 1. I do my best to use real-world English resources on a variety of topics. That's why every Monday I post a new Learn English with the News lesson. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. The more you expose yourself to natural English on a variety of different topics, the faster you'll reach that coveted advanced level. Mistake number 6, too much input. This is a big one. Many learners spend too much time reading, listening, or watching videos, which is language input. And they don't spend enough time speaking or writing, which is language output. Input builds understanding, output builds fluency. If you only consume English passively, you'll stay stuck at a lower level. Imagine learning how to cook by only watching cooking shows and never turning on your oven. Ridiculous, right? Aim for a ratio of 70% input and 30% output. So if your study session is 60 minutes in total, that's about 40 minutes of learning English and 20 minutes of using English. How does that compare to your current ratio of input and output? Mistake number 7, fear of making mistakes. One of the biggest barriers to fluency is fear. Fear of sounding silly, making mistakes, or being judged. You can't reach the advanced level without using your English. If fear prevents you from actually speaking in English with both native and non-native speakers, then you need to manage that fear. And obsessing over grammar won't help you overcome that fear. In fact, it's likely one of the reasons why you're so afraid. You have to use your English to be considered fluent. You can't go to a party and never open your mouth because of fear, or maybe you don't even go to the party because of fear. Don't let fear keep you stuck at that intermediate level. Getting to the advanced level also means realizing that you will make mistakes and have awkward situations because of your communication skills. So do I, and English is my native language. Mistake number 8, neglecting pronunciation. Pronunciation often gets overlooked, but it's critical for clear communication. Poor pronunciation can make it harder for others to understand you, even if your vocabulary and grammar are correct. So all that time learning vocabulary and grammar is wasted because you didn't communicate successfully. To improve your pronunciation, you need output because only getting input doesn't give you the chance to practice and improve your pronunciation. Mistake number 9, ignoring cultural context. Language and culture are inseparable. Without understanding cultural nuances, learners often use English in ways that feel unnatural or inappropriate. Most students think that they should use C1 words in the real world, and that's the secret to sounding fluent and advanced. Most native speakers prefer phrasal verbs, idioms, and more casual speech in most situations. That's a cultural nuance. You might learn how to order a coffee in a textbook, but then get to a local cafe and realize that the native speaker in front of you used a totally different expression. That's a cultural nuance. Should you greet your boss with "How's it going?" Is that appropriate or inappropriate? That's a cultural nuance. Now you know some of the mistakes you might be making. Let's solve all of these mistakes with one study plan that you can complete in about 20 minutes per day. This 5-step study plan will help you learn real English in context with the right ratio of input and output. Step 1, daily real-world listening. Find a real-world English resource like a TED Talk, an interview, or a TV show. Choose topics that interest you or that are relevant to your daily life. Listen to 5 minutes of that resource. Your goal is to understand the overall idea, not to understand every word. Step 2, context-based vocabulary and grammar. Listen to the same clip again with subtitles and choose 2 to 4 words, idioms, or phrases that you don't currently know, but that you believe are commonly used. Write down the full sentence that contains your word, idiom, or phrase and study the grammar of the sentence. How is that word used in context? What does it mean in this context? Remember that most English words have multiple meanings depending on context. Learn the meaning in this specific context. Step 3, shadow and repeat. Now it's time to learn the correct pronunciation of this individual word and how the word sounds in fast speech. Listen to that sentence in the clip multiple times and repeat the sentence aloud each time. Record yourself and compare how you sound to how the clip sounds. You'll do this until you feel comfortable pronouncing the word and sound. This will likely take 5 to 20 repetitions. At the same time, you're improving your listening skills of fast English. Step 4, writing practice. Now you need more output. Write 3 to 5 sentences using your new word. Write different styles of sentences using different grammatical structures. Review your sentences to make sure they're correct. For this step, your focus is on grammar and your accuracy. Step 5, speaking practice. You still need more output. Now you can form natural sentences using your new vocabulary. For this step, your focus is on communicating, not accuracy. Making mistakes is okay, and they shouldn't prevent you from communicating. Think about how you can use this new word in a business meeting or at a party. The important thing is that you're forming realistic sentences that will help you communicate in the real world. I also recommend recording yourself speaking so you can listen back and see how it sounds. Now you can focus on accuracy and you can identify any areas for improvement. This will also help you get comfortable hearing your voice in English. And now, in only 20 minutes per day, you'll take your English from intermediate to advanced. You can watch this Learn English with the News lesson right now to start expanding your vocabulary on a variety of topics, and you'll learn full phrases in real context. Watch it now.